Hello everyone and welcome back to another Schnuckatoo video. Today I will be talking about a very goofy, funny movie I watched, and it is called Wandering Earth 2. Now, for those of you watching this video, you likely will not have ever heard of this movie, and that's because it is a Chinese movie that was like only available in a theater here, like 35 minutes away. And my parents wanted to see it, so me and my brother were like, okay, sure. This is like the sequel to one, and one I thought was actually a pretty good movie, but two, I don't know, man. It was a bit suspect at times, you know. It was overall, I thought it was a okay movie. But there were definitely quite a few sus plot points. Okay? Now, what do I mean by that? Let me explain. So, the whole premise of the movie. Okay, spoiler alert for any of you who have not watched it and maybe want to watch it. I actually recommend it. The 1 and 2. They're actually they're pretty good movies. They're like entertaining, at least. So I'm gonna clean up my base because it's so messy. I don't know. Should I go with a wooden floor? I'm not sure. But the premise of the movies, these are actually, according to my parents, based on a famous Chinese novel series, and it's actually based on a series by this really good, famous Chinese sci-fi writer, apparently. And that's what the movies are based on. So I don't know how good the books are, but like if the movies are already pretty decent, I'm assuming the books have to be somewhat good, right? Hopefully. But I don't think there's very good English translations of them, so I don't really want to read it. Anyways, what was I talking about? Ah, yes, the premise of the movie. Okay, spoilers ahead. So the premise of this movie is it's the prequel to the first Wandering Earth, and the first Wandering Earth, basically for some reason, the sun is like about to explode, and I know the sun will explode in like a billion years or so, but like for some reason this is happening in 2022 and the sun's about to explode or something. This is the first movie, by the way, so I haven't even gotten to this movie. So the sun's about to explode, and humans have thought of a plan, a brilliant plan, a very brilliant plan. And their plan is they've constructed these like big massive engines that are gonna push the earth away, right? Okay, I need to preserve this sign. That are gonna push the earth away out of the solar system, away from the exploding sun, because eventually this will happen, right? The sun's gonna expand and it's gonna die, because that's what stars do. And humans are, if we're still alive at that point, haven't extinguished ourselves or gotten extincted by something else, we're gonna have to find a way, and we'll probably try and find a way to avert ourselves from being blown up by the sun, right? And so their plan was just, they made like a bunch of big engines, like the whole world banded together at the point. They made like a bunch of different engines, placed them all around at cities in the world, activated them, and then pushed the earth away from the sun. Or actually their specific plan was accelerate this earth's orbit around the sun and use it like as like basically gravity assisted. Oh my gosh, wait, what? Oh. Oh, wow. I did not realize this was here. Whoa. Anyway, use it to basically launch itself out of the solar system. And in the first movie, there was some problem with like it almost crashing into Jupiter, and that was the premise of the movie. But in the second movie, it was basically a prequel to this. So like them building all these engines and stuff like that. Now, the movie starts off, maybe I shouldn't give a summary. I'll just go through a few major plot holes. But the movie deals with a lot of like weird existential stuff that I think it tries to deal with too many things at once. So one of the things it deals with is I'll definitely make a video about this, is like, oh, people have found a new way to like inject our consciousness into like computers, right? And then we can live out our lives like that. Now, the movie deals with this a bit, and it's like, oh, some people want to go live in like a virtual world, and other people's like, oh, the whole point of living is dying. So what's the point of living if you're just living in a virtual world, right? And both opinions are valid, I think. You know, they both have pretty good arguments for and against. You know, it's a very complex issue, as one might say. But it just tries. I think it's a good movie. It's entertaining, but it just tries to mess with too many different themes. Okay, now let's talk about some plot holes, right? I kind of am jumping all over the place, and this is what the movie does. The movie does jump all over the place. Like, 1 second, you'll have this storyline, and then it jumps to a completely parallel storyline, and then it starts a new storyline. So there are, like, 4 storylines going on in parallel. It's a bit confusing at times. Oh, okay. So one of the plot holes is that in order to move the Earth first, they wanted to move the Moon first. Now, maybe there's some scientific reason behind this, as, because if you move the Earth, I think, at the rate they were accelerating it, I think the Moon would have been dragged along, or it would have been left out. I don't think there was any point in moving the Moon. Oh, yeah, now I remember, one of the blatant, not plot points, but physics inaccuracies. So, there was this fight scene on this space elevator, right? And this is what I found really funny. They were accelerating upwards. Okay? They're accelerating upwards. There's like this rocket-propelled space elevator thing. And basically, there's a fight scene going on. And the thing people have... I'll describe the fight scene. So basically, they're fighting. And they're on the ground. And like at a certain point, I think as the spacecraft exits the Earth's atmosphere, the people just start floating. Like, the people... So, I think the common misconception, and maybe the movie did make this mistake, maybe I wasn't paying attention and they actually started moving down, but the problem is, like, if you are still accelerating, it doesn't matter if you exit the Earth's atmosphere or exit a certain point. The whole reason why you're still accelerating upwards, right? And if you're accelerating upwards, that means you're going to be pushed down into the ground with, like, some force. Which means, like, you definitely should not be floating. Because the reason why people float in the International Space Station is because they are basically in a state of perpetual free fall. Or they're basically, like, that's the reason they are floating, because the space station around them is also falling, and so are they. So, like, relative to them, the space station is like floating. But, like, in this case of the space elevator, since it's accelerating upwards, the people should be pushed downwards. Not like after it gets past a certain point of the Earth's atmosphere, people just start floating. When they should start floating is when this thing starts falling, like in free fall, the thing. And they do start floating until the space station re-enters the Earth's atmosphere, and they, for some reason, get pushed back to the ground. Which... Oh, I guess that could make sense. If the thing is decelerating, they should be pushed to the ground. But it's very it's a bit suspect. Now there are a ton of other weird plot points, like a bunch of, like, they ended up trying to blow up the moon or something, which I don't think was necessary, but they did it anyways, because why not? And they used, like, all the whole like the whole world's, like, nuclear arsenal to blow up the moon. And then what ended up happening is, like, it was all planned by the AI at the end. And this related back to, like, the virtual life thing I was talking about at the beginning. and so it was all planned by the AI. But then the AI was like, "Oh, I don't want to actually end humanity because like this like person plugged in himself to the virtual world, and now I had no idea what was going on in that movie. It was an entertaining movie. There were some like good action sequences. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh! I almost let my pickaxe break. That would have been catastrophic. Thank goodness I realized that. But yeah, I mean overall, it's I okay. It's a bit. I apologize if this review is really bad because I feel like it's a bit difficult to do a good movie review. You know, a review is for people who haven't seen the movie, so you need to strike a good balance between summarizing the movie and telling people about how the movie was. And I don't think I did a very good job of that. I apologize if that is the case. But here's my rating and why is it like here's my ratings and recommendations for the movie. Okay, so overall, I think I would rate this movie maybe 6.5 out of 10. It was a good movie, but some of the plot was very suspicious. Could have used some work. Was a bit convoluted. I'm sure the book would be like a 10 out of 10. Like the story is very good. I think they just try to cram too much of a book into a movie and resulted in this like a bit confused and jumbled feeling. But I do recommend you guys watch it. It's a very different style of movie from like typical American movies, I guess. Oh yeah, there was this really funny okay, in the movie all the yeah, there was this really funny stupid American guy. And if you guys have ever seen the like mobile ad commercials, right? Or like World of Warcraft, I don't think it was World of Warcraft. Those types of mobile ad commercials, like peasant level 100, or like, oh no, I have this base that is level 50, and then in some real life scenarios, like, oh no, he's power 100. What am I going to do? Like the real life like mobile ad. Oh, I said my spawn so far away. Commercials. There's this like one dude that talked like that the entire time, and maybe because it's a Chinese movie, so like the English people had to talk slower so the Chinese people watching the movie could understand. But like he was talking so slowly, he was literally acting like an NPC, and like a lot of times when things were because it was like the whole world's teaming up together to solve it, right? So there were a lot of like there was a lot of international actors, I guess, and different languages. But the English that was spoken was so slow. It was very funny. But yeah, overall, I think I would recommend someone to see this movie. It's a pretty good movie. It is a bit long. It's 3 hours. But I think it's worth a watch. If you have never seen a Chinese movie before, maybe this isn't the best Chinese movie ever. But if you haven't seen a Chinese movie, there's English subtitles. So I think it's maybe worth a watch. It's a pretty good movie. But yeah. I mean, other than some plot holes, scientific inconsistencies, convoluted lines, it's a pretty decent movie. Better than the recent Marvel movies. Oh, but that's a whole nother issue. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed my review of this movie that you probably have never ever watched. It's quite an interesting one, and there's some stuff I won't even get into about it. But yeah, maybe if you're interested, give it a watch. Otherwise, don't worry about it. I'm just some random guy talking about some random Chinese movie with a random plotline and stuff. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. If you guys enjoyed the video, please make sure to subscribe to this channel and subscribe to my main channel. Join my Discord, like the video if you liked it, leave a comment down below if you've ever watched this movie. I doubt if anyone has. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Happy Sunday, I guess. Bye.